For years, Sophie Turner and Kit Harrington captivated audiences as part of one of the most beloved and brutal fantasy series ever made, Game of Thrones. As Sansa Stark and Jon Snow, they fought through war, betrayal, heartbreak, and loss in the unforgiving world of Westeros. Though their characters were cousins by blood and allies by survival, they shared a bond on screen that felt like family. Now, after years apart and miles beyond the wall, Turner and Harrington are reuniting, only this time the setting is very different, and so is their relationship. The two actors, who rose to international stardom thanks to their Thrones roles, are stepping into a completely new realm with their latest project. Titled The Dreadful, the upcoming gothic horror film will see the former co-stars take on roles far removed from anything fans have seen them in before. Set against the eerie backdrop of 18th century England, the movie promises to deliver a haunting tale laced with emotional intensity and psychological suspense. Sophie Turner stars as Isabel, a young widow still reeling from personal tragedy. In search of healing or perhaps just escape, she retreats to a remote estate tucked away in the English countryside. But peace proves elusive. Isabel's attempts to rebuild her life quickly begin to spiral into chaos as strange, unsettling occurrences begin to haunt her solitude. That's when a mysterious stranger enters the story, played by none other than Kit Harrington. His presence is enigmatic, his intentions unclear, and as Isabel's grip on reality begins to loosen, their relationship turns into something even more tangled. The film is being helmed by director Natasha Kermani, best known for her gripping psychological horror work in Lucky and the acclaimed VHS anthology series. Kermani brings a distinct voice to modern horror, blending emotional trauma with dread-soaked storytelling, and The Dreadful looks to continue that trend. The film's rich period setting and supernatural undertones offer the perfect stage for Turner and Harrington to stretch their creative wings and maybe even challenge their fans in the process. What's already sparking curiosity and maybe a few raised eyebrows is the chemistry between Turner and Harrington in this new context. During a recent press conversation, Turner revealed that the two won't be battling alongside each other this time. Instead, they'll be sharing something far more intimate, a romance. "It's definitely strange for everyone who watched Game of Thrones," she admitted, laughing. "Sorry guys." After nearly a decade of being seen as relatives on screen, of course, watching the pair shift into lovers is sure to surprise even the most loyal fans. Still, Turner spoke warmly about the reunion, describing the project as creatively liberating and emotionally powerful. "There's a familiarity working with Kit that makes it easy to be vulnerable," she said. "We've been through so much professionally, and coming together in this very different story feels like a full circle moment." Harrington, for his part, has echoed similar sentiments in interviews, often speaking about the comfort and mutual respect they've carried over from their Thrones days. It's clear that the transition, while strange for some viewers, has been deeply fulfilling for the actors themselves. For both Turner and Harrington, The Dreadful marks an exciting shift in their post-Game of Thrones trajectories. Since the series wrapped in 2019, they've taken on wildly different roles, each seeking projects that would challenge the typecasting that often comes after such a defining show. Turner explored dramatic territory in The Staircase and flexed her blockbuster muscles in the X-Men franchise as Jean Grey. Harrington, meanwhile, stepped into the Marvel Universe himself with a role in Eternals and has also taken on stage work and smaller films to stretch his range. But returning to work together under entirely different circumstances adds a layer of familiarity to a space that's entirely new. There's a lot of intrigue surrounding how their chemistry will translate in this new genre. Fans have seen them survive battlefields, political intrigue, and dragon-fueled drama. But a slow-burning, psychological horror story where tension bubbles beneath the surface and emotions linger in silences demands a different kind of performance. It's about nuance. It's about what's unspoken. And with a director like Natasha Kermani steering the ship, there's every reason to believe that The Dreadful will lean into mood and atmosphere, trusting Turner and Harrington to do the heavy lifting emotionally. Kermani's past work suggests a sharp eye for character-driven horror. She's known for crafting stories that reflect deep personal trauma through the lens of genre. If her previous projects are any indication, this won't be a scream and run type of film. Instead, The Dreadful may tap into something quieter and more unsettling: grief, repression, desire, guilt. For Turner's character, a grieving widow, those emotions likely serve as the psychological foundation for the eerie events unfolding in her countryside home. Harrington's mysterious role remains largely under wraps, but the ambiguity surrounding his character adds to the mounting sense of anticipation. What also makes this reunion feel significant is the connection fans feel to both actors, not just for their individual talents, but for the journey they've shared. From red carpets to convention panels, Turner and Harrington grew up in front of millions. Their friendship off-screen has always felt genuine, and now that dynamic is being reimagined in a more complex, romantic on-screen relationship, it's bound to stir nostalgia, and maybe even a little cognitive dissonance for fans who've rooted for them as Stark siblings for years. But it also signals just how far both have come as artists and as people. There's also something refreshing about seeing actors from massive franchises take creative risks. They could easily coast on their Thrones fame, sticking to safe roles with guaranteed box office pull. Instead, they're leaning into something darker, weirder, and likely more intimate. Horror has long been a proving ground for serious performances, and The Dreadful looks poised to deliver just that: a stripped-down, emotionally charged, and deeply atmospheric story that puts its performers at the center of the storm. No CGI armies, no ancient prophecies. Just two people, a house, and something terrifying lurking beneath the surface. As excitement builds around the film's release, one thing's for sure: fans will be watching closely, not just to see Turner and Harrington reunited, but to witness how they evolve in roles that challenge what audiences have come to expect from them. For some, it'll be a jarring transition. For others, a welcome reunion. But for everyone, The Dreadful will be a reminder that even in the world of film, sometimes the most compelling stories come from stepping outside the familiar and into the unknown.